Hello and welcome everybody to my episode 1 review of Megalobox. This show has exceeded my expectations and it's one of my favorite shows to start the spring, almost summer season off for anime. Like, Megalobox is pure fire, and even if you don't like traditional boxing or fighting animes, you should definitely give this one a chance. So without further ado, let's break right on into it. Episode 1, titled Buy or Die. So the synopsis is in the rundown slums of a futuristic city, the boxer, only known as Junk Dog, is making a living throwing fights for the mob in underground arenas. That all changes when he has a chance encounter with the champion Yuri. So let's talk about that a little bit. The episode starts off showing our infamous character here, who at this time is being referred to as Junk Dog. He's on his bike, and as he's traveling through the desert, in this intro scene, it's so well put together. I love the way that it's drawn. You got the heavy bold ink with the nice little smears, but then it's kind of stenciled in some areas. It's a really nicely animated scene here. So I really like it. We're greeted with the very first thing that Junk Dog says. Listen to it. I mean, it's kind of dope. To be quiet and do as you're told. That's the cowardly choice. And those are the words of Junk Dog in the very beginning. So, as he's driving this motorcycle through the desert, don't know where this guy's going, but he's blinded by his thoughts. His mind is just racing. And a lot of us have been there. I'm pretty sure you guys have found yourself in situations where you might be at work, you might be driving, but all you can think about is some recent event, or just your thoughts are flowing through your mind and you just can't shake it. So much so that the area around you doesn't exist anymore and you're just consumed by your thoughts. That's all you see. Then Joe realizes this. He wakes up. He comes back to reality, and boom! It freezes, and he's about to drive the motorcycle off a cliff while he's in the air. And actually, he really ends up doing it. So, what is Megalobox about? Well, I have a video actually out called Should You Watch? And it's the very first one on it is Megalobox. And a long story short is, there's a big boxing tournament called Megalonia, where all the top boxers in the world come to fight. And the final match, the final contestants is going to come down to the top 4. But these aren't just normal boxing matches. Oh no. They use gear, and this gear is what allows them to fight. They're like exoskeletons that they put on their bodies that enhances the way that they box. So it's pretty cool, man. It's like if I were to give it like another old school reference, and I say old school, but this isn't considered old school, but I like to think of it as, boxing, but with Gundam. They're Gundam parts, not even just Gundam, like Gunpla. Like the metal that they put on is like an extension of themselves. They're exoskeletons that can be customized. There's all different types. There's different builds. Some small, some big. Some are powered with like nice little rotaries. Others are just like Junk Dogs, very basic and very slimline. So to cut a little forward here, I try to make my reviews kind of a review, but like a overview of what happens in the episode at the same time. You got Junk Dog here. The city inhabitants here are people that actually don't have IDs. They're not actual citizens. So when Junk Dog is watching the commercial for the Megalonia boxing championship, he becomes disinterested because the first thing he hears is citizens only. All citizens are welcome. Well, since they don't have citizenship IDs, they're not citizens, so they can't enter. And I mean, to them, they're free inhabitants and they're not held bound by anything, so they got their own agenda. It's different. They don't really communicate why these people that aren't citizens are where they are, or at least they haven't yet. Now, this, if I haven't said already, I don't remember half the stuff I say during my review until I rewatch it. This is an homage to Ashido no Joe. This is a modern take on one of the all-time, the original boxing anime. This is the 50th anniversary, and it's a celebratory event in the form of a new anime adaptation. So when I read the synopsis earlier, the slums of a futuristic city. The boxer, also known as Junk Dog, is making a living throwing fights for a mob in underground arenas, and that all changes when he makes a chance encounter with the champion Yuri. That's exactly what is indicated in this episode. There's not really a whole bunch to dig into here. It's kind of more so to focus on the cool events here and the key things that are really going to make the show. So let's fast forward a little bit. Junk Dog, he's doing these fights. His partner is somebody who, at first glance, appears to be a drunk who's bad at winning bets, because it shows this guy in one of the intro scenes. He's betting on a dog race and he loses, and he says, "That's the last time I bet on that." So Junk Dog, where he's getting his bike repaired, where he was just watching the commercial for the Megalonia boxing tournament. He leaves. He tells the guy, "Hey, it's going to be a good match tonight." The guy won because he betted on Junk Dog last night. As Junk Dog is getting to the underground tournament, the people that greet him are like, "Hey, man, make sure tonight's fight is as convincing as can be for when you throw it." He's like, "Nah, guys, I plan on winning tonight." And then they're like, "Wait, didn't the old dude tell you?" And then that's when Junk Dog says, "Son of a bitch." And the scene transitions to his partner being drunk. He's not doing anything. He tells him, "Hey, let's consider it a change of circumstances. This is what we do." We don't know why Joe is with this guy. We don't know anything about this guy as to why he can't get his act together. But long story short, I guess the guy is getting into a bad run-in with an underground crime syndicate, and he has debts to pay, and that's why he's having Joe toss the rounds. He tries to change it up by saying the reason why you throw these fights is because nobody likes a one-sided match, where I've never known that to be the case in any show where it comes to a big crowd is watching. When it comes to real boxing, man, it's the people that are always winning that people want to see. So I don't know what this dude is talking about where he's saying nobody wants to see you win all the time, because how else are we supposed to make money when this is the life that we live? And Joe really can't argue with it, because at the end of the day, they are right. But he does acknowledge that Joe is too strong for underground tournaments. I felt like that was a lot. So the way they do this is the dude gives him a Bluetooth. I spoiled it. Junk Dog puts the Bluetooth in his ear, and this is how he learns how he should play the matches out. His trainer or his partner or his coach or whatever you want to call him in this episode is the one that tells Joe the moves to make, how he's supposed to move, what round is he supposed to throw the match in, what round is he supposed to make it look interesting in. That is what they do. So, cut to the next scene. We got some guys punching the blood out of each other. One of my favorite parts here is as Junk Dog is walking to the ring, you can see that on the wall, the cement wall here, that it's just absolutely smeared in blood. And as a tribute, instead of putting chalk on his hands to dry them, Junk Dog runs his hands against the wall on the dried blood, and that's what he uses to kind of get himself ready. So that was cool. Jump in, we see him with the gear on. He's putting it on. They put the batteries in. It's powering up. And you see the big contrast between Junk Dog and the person he's fighting, which is like Ghetto Hachia. I mean, not Ghetto. Yeah, it's Ghetto Hachia is the guy's name. You see it? His has like spinning wheels on it. There's a true class difference between what they got. So you can truly see that the only way Junk Dog would win this is truly based off of skill. They're getting ready to go into the match, and then the bell rings. They go into it. He's telling him, take the lead in the early rounds. This guy's a slow starter. But when the match starts, this dude is anything but a slow starter. This Ghetto Hachia guy is going in full force, and Junk Dog is just taking the blocks. And eventually, he sees an opening, and right before the round ends, he almost ends him with a clean uppercut. It would have ended round one. And Junk Dog straight up tells his partner, his coach, whatever you want to call him, if I was actually to go all out, this would have been done in one round. you can tell that throughout the show, this is what he's struggling with. He's struggling with trying to be the person that he believes in, trying to be the person that he wants to be, going all out and handling these matches as he know he could, but instead his talent is being thwarted because he's just throwing them, and he has to do what he needs to do to make money. Ultimately, what appears to be a good match is eventually tossed. Junk Dog loses, and to get over this, Junk Dog goes for, as we saw in the intro of the show, another ride on his motorcycle. But this time it's different. It's nighttime, it's raining, he's focused, and now we get some oversight here. We see the champion, Yuri, and we see what appears to be, we don't know if this is his creator or what she's done so far to get Yuri to where he's at. But anyways, you see these two standing, they're talking, and are overseeing where the Megalonian Stadium is being built. Junk Dog is going down the interstate on his motorcycle, not paying attention. That girl who is Yuri's coach, or whatever you want to call her, she's standing in the middle of the way. Junk Dog has to swerve out the way. He crashes. This is where my first favorite moment of this whole episode takes place. And so she runs over to Junk Dog saying, "Hey, are you okay? Here's my card. Dial this number. Everything that you take will be reimbursed if you call this number." But he doesn't want it. She insists, and then Junk Dog smacks it out of her hand. And so she's like, "Oh, okay, that's how it is." And so he does a mean glare. She stares at him. But then Yuri walks past her, and now it's a stare down between Junk Dog and Yuri. It's a stare down. So what happens here, guys, is this shit is epic, man. Like I don't know, man. If you guys just aren't into boxing anime, I don't even know why you've watched this far into the review. Just give the show a watch, man, and you tell me if it's not something that you think is interesting. But what happens is Junk Dog is passionate, right? You ever felt a moment where you've been in a situation and this is the moment you've been waiting for? That's what's happening here. This is an opportunity that Junk Dog has been needing. This is his second win. When he catches glance of Yuri being there, he tells him, if that's what you call megaloboxing, that's nothing. It's just an all-out brawl or something like that. I gotta rewatch the episode again to know, guys. I'm doing all this from memory. You gotta keep these things as authentic as possible. Anyways, so the guy comes over, and now they take their stances, and right as they're about to get into it, Yuri's about to leap, but then the girl calls him back, and he yields, and he walks away. Oh, it took that moment away. It took it away from you completely. And then Junk Dog chastises him, saying she's got you trained pretty well, indicating that he's a bitch and that's the owner. Like, he's the girl dog and that's the owner. He's on the leash. Like, he's just gonna do whatever she says. Moving past that, the next scene happens. The dude drives off. Junk Dog's about to do another match in the ring. As he's about to do another match, the guy doesn't show up. Why? Because in the background, Yuri is there with the coat on. Junk Dog sees this, and once again, he is relishing in this second win. He knows this is what he needs to do. This is it. This is his calling. This is his opportunity. This is his destiny to be in the ring with this guy. He doesn't care about the circumstances that they're in where they gotta toss these fights. He's already telling his partner, look, I don't want to do this anymore. When he sees Yuri, that just confirms it. Everybody's trying to keep Junk Dog out of the ring with this man, but Junk Dog's not having it. He punches his coach in the face. His coach goes flying out. He throws the Bluetooth at him. Dude catches it, and now this is it. They're standing off. They're about to go at it, and then that's when the episode ends. Oh, it's just so good, man. Like, I can't stress enough to you guys. This show is, it's really good, and I'm saddened. I'm really saddened that it's just going to be a short anime run. Like, I would love for this to be a continuing series, and they could really draw it out that way, but that's not what this is here for. This is meant to be a tribute. This is meant to be a one-shot deal, and, that's it. But guys, there's a lot of things you got to take away from this. If you really want my full opinion on certain things that I think about the show so far, or just the show in general, definitely check out my Should You Watch video where I really go over the intricacies of Megalobox and what I think of it. So this is just a review of episode 1, which is Buy or Die. But I'm gonna do an episode review for every single episode. I'm working on giving you guys the daily content as I used to. I'm bringing it back. So if you're watching this video, I've already put out, My Hero Academia episode 39. I've already put that review out. I'm doing this, going straight into episode 40 of My Hero Academia, getting all these shows reviews. I'm done with my break, and I'm giving you guys the content. All right, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you made it this far, this is the new thing I'm doing. I want you guys to know that if there's people actually listening to what I'm talking about and actually hearing the shit that I say, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and say what should we say? What should we say? We should say I don't know, man. Type in there's only one junk dog. There we go. Sorry that took so long. If you made it this far, in the comment section down below, type in there's only one junk dog. That just lets me know that you guys are actually listening to me ramble, listening to me do these reviews, and letting me know that it's something that's actually worth doing. If you like this, also give the video a like, comment below, and also don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys on my next episode review of Megalobox, and as stated before, if you haven't watched it already, watch my Should You Watch Megalobox video to get some more details on what I think about Megalobox. That's it, guys. I'm Senzu, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.
Yo, 俺たちはそう、もうただのもの。